on digital radio, on the app, on your smart speaker, on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch.tv, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Expect the unexpected.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk presented by The Sportscast.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk with Victor Arocho and Byron Jones. And here's your host, Victor Arocho.
By the way, this is a Panthers jersey. Anyways, it has the colors. I didn't even think about that. Hey, live out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and Maine, and Florida, and all over the place. We are live. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sportscast, produced by The Sportscast. Please remember to subscribe to all our channels on Spotify, on X, YouTube, Facebook. Please leave us a rating and help us out tremendously. We are streaming live on all your favorite podcast show. Hey, and our witness protection guy came out of witness protection. All right.
I did.
Mr. Wes Welker, welcome to the show. All right, we're getting ready to run. We got a lot of people on the show. This is interesting. We're going to have some fun today. So thank you. And Mr. Byron Jones, my co-host and partner in crime. How's it going today?
Oh, wonderful. We had a little ice storm, which I'm sure you're familiar with, from back, when you were, a real Perth Amboy guy. We're expecting a foot of snow this weekend, around here. So, it's great, man. But guess what? I'm retired and I don't have to step foot out the door. No,
that's right. I heard you got the young guys coming to your door and you pay them.
10:30 at night, though, it's like, it is what it is.
All right. Well, at least you're not in Buffalo. You don't have to shuffle out the snow from the stadium. All right, Mr. Santiago, the producer and owner of the Sportscast. Welcome to the show. This is a big Super Bowl show when you join in our show. How are you doing?
You can't miss the Jersey Boys Sports Talk before the Super Bowl. Biggest time of the year of the show, and also the NBA hijacked the Super Bowl this week. But we'll talk about that later.
Oh my God, that's a lot of stuff coming on. But we got some good stuff coming on, and I got some stuff from Mr. Byron Jones. But we were talking about Mr. Alex Quirk, one of our favorite Giant fans from the beautiful state of Maine. How are you doing today? What's the weather over there?
Doing all right. It snowed today, which is not a shocking development for winter in Maine, but. We're in the midst of all that, the ice storm that Byron got. We just got snow, though it's starting to kind of melt and become ice overnight. So I don't envy those who have to drive tomorrow because I work at home.
Well, it's beautiful sunshine where I'm at, so I'm not worried about snow. Mr. Wes Welker, is that actually your name, or did you just decided to have your screen name is that your pen name?
Yeah, no, I am the Wes Welker, as Alex can attest to. No, we live probably 10 miles apart, if that now. So I got screwed with the snow, but we're here, we're live.
And why do you have a stronger accent than Alex?
He's not even from Maine.
No, he's got an accent, though. You don't really have an accent. He's got kind of a little twang to his talk.
Ooh, I like that. Where are you from? I'm from Vermont. So.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even know that Vermont had an accent.
It sure does.
All right. Well, welcome. And what's your team? Who's your team?
So as you can tell by my nickname, the Pats. All New England.
Well, you may have some Dolphin fans argue with that, but yeah, Wes Welker's for a Pat. You should be just like the Philadelphia Eagles are thanking Saquon. You guys should be thanking you should be thanking the Eagles are thanking the Giants. You should be thanking the Dolphins.
I love it. I respect it. I don't agree with it, but we're here.
You being a Pat fan makes more sense. We were kind of thrown off with Alex when he told us he was a Giant fan. We were pretty proud to have someone that far north in the United States be a Giant fan. So, all right, well, unfortunately, there ain't much to talk about the Giants nor the Pats, which is amazing. The Pats at least had a good run. The Giants, we've been terrible for a long time. All right, let's get into it. Mr. Santiago put in a lot of good stuff here. We have let's get right into the Super Bowl. I don't mess anything else out, right? Well. And ain't much I want to talk about the Giants right now. We can talk about them a little bit later. But let's get into the Super Bowl. Mr. Byron Jones, who you predict? Who I don't know if I should get your prediction now, but what are the keys to victory for the Eagles to win?
The Eagles have to get after Patrick Mahomes. They got to get him on the ground. They got to be able to run the ball. Chiefs got to find some kind of running game, to keep these guys honest. The receivers have to, Kelsey has to have a big game, as far as with Kansas City. The offensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs is a key because, they're playing a guy, Tooney, I think that's his name, left tackle.
Did I lose you?
Because the other guys are, wasn't up to snuff. And, where the strength of, the Eagles is those two big guys in the middle, Jaden Davis and that other guy, Jalen Carter. And I don't know if, what the guy to replace, Tooney at guard is going to be able to hold up against Jalen Carter. Creed is a good center. Humphrey Creed, he's all pro center. And Trey Smith, the other guy, pretty good. But the line for the Chiefs, it might be a repeat of, when, the Chiefs played Tampa Bay where Mahomes is running for his life. If things don't play out on the offensive line for them.
Okay. And what do you think the keys of victory for? Well, let's go ahead. Those are the keys of victory. Let's see. Mr. Santiago, what do you think the keys of victory for the Chiefs to win?
The Chiefs, obviously, is the defense. This team is run through the defense of Spagnolia. That's what carried this team last year and is carrying again this year. And keep it tight. Can they stop Saquon? That is the question. The Bills' running game was good against the Chiefs. Not the best, but if Saquon is, he's a little bit more talented than the Bills running back, that could be a problem. But I think that's the key. And, of course, ball management, like Byron says, Patrick Mahomes.
Okay. Alex, what do you think the keys are? Pick one. Keys of victory, pick a team, since I have one each.
Well, I will say, kind of concurring with Santiago, I would say for the Eagles, it would be just running the ball down the Chiefs' throats because we saw, I think James Cook had like 6.5 yards per carry in the AFC Championship. And then mysteriously, for some reason, Doug McDermott did not have him on the field in that last drive where the Bills needed a couple yards. May or may not have gotten it. Who's to say? It happened. For the Chiefs, it's really going to come down to as part of stopping the run, basically forcing Jalen Hurts to throw the ball a lot, which Hurts is exceptionally talented, but at times you can see he's a bit rattled when the game is relying on him to be a quarterback.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wes Welker.
All right, so here's the deal. I feel like if you stop Saquon, you stop AJ Brown, you win. But I don't know if they're going to do that. I feel like I don't disagree that Hurts is not going to have the best of games. I don't know how the tush push is going to fare in this round, but I think if I had to put money on it right now, I think Saquon has a huge game. I don't know about Brown, but I don't know. If I had to put money on it, Saquon, 2 touchdowns. I think the Eagles win. I hate to say it, but yeah.
So, all right. So you're picking the Eagles. So you're giving us all right. So let me tell you. Let me give you my game plan here.
Yeah, no,
all right.
Send it.
Number one, I am not going against Patrick Mahomes. That's number one. Last time I picked the Eagles, and they had a great defense. Their defense is a little better now. We got to see if D'Angelo, Vic D'Angelo is going to make adjustments, because as we know, I haven't seen him really make too many adjustments.
Fangio,
right, Fangio. I didn't see him make any adjustments. That's what hurt him last time. Last time they were leading the league in sacks and rushes. They did not touch Patrick Mahomes. They didn't rush him. They didn't sack him. They didn't do a thing. And they should have won. As for your comment of Jalen Hurts, Jalen put up like 300 something yards in the Super Bowl against them.
He did.
I mean, he lit it up. So, I think he'll be able to. I think he has the ability to be successful. I think the key, though, is going to be stopping Saquon Barkley. You understand that Saquon Barkley is not being touched within 4 yards of the line of scrimmage. Right? So the keys of victory for the defense, and I think the difference is Spags is people want to give Johnson credit from the Philadelphia Eagles. Give him credit that he learned a lot. The difference is Johnson. How many Super Bowls Johnson has, Byron? 0. How many Spags has?
Quite a few.
4. Okay, so it's one thing that you learn for someone. There's a point where the student becomes the teacher, right? So the keys of victory for the Chiefs is you need Barkley to go wide. You cannot let him go up between the tackles, because he gets one crease, he's gone. If you stretch him out, you can control Barkley, right? But if you let him break through that line, because he's not getting touched within 2 to 4 yards, that's amazing. I mean, that offensive line is doing it. The thing is, that's only 4 yards. Barkley has the most 50-yard plus runs. I think he's got like 10.
Wouldn't shock
right?
me.
And that's a lot. Okay. I think look, and the problem is that, if the Eagles win, I want Barkley to have a great game. I want Barkley to have such a great game that Mara changes his mind and fires Shane. That's the bottom line. I want Barkley to win, get a Super Bowl, get an MVP, and I want him to turn around and fire Shane and tell him never to be on HBO again. That's the bottom line. Okay.
They ain't fired him.
Well, I know they're not firing, but I hope they say, "Hey, Barkley, where you going?" I'm going to Disney World. I ain't going out. I'm not going with Shane. Okay. So then the keys of victory for the Eagles is they got to keep giving the ball to Barkley. Barkley had 26 carries. Byron, we had that argument with the Ravens. They gave Derrick Henry the ball 16 to 18 times. Barkley got the ball 26 times and still had 100-something yards, and then Shipley almost had 100 yards. So I think there's an issue with the passing game. I don't know. I think A.J. Brown is going to do well. They need the key to victory in the Eagles, in addition to Barkley, is going to be Devontae Smith. Right? He needs to have a game.
Was the leading receiver in the last Super Bowl for the Eagles.
He needs to have a game.
And the tight ends too.
And the tight end, but tight end's always important in every game, right? And then the bottom line is, if, like Byron said, if they do not rattle, or they're not, and I don't think you can rattle Barkley. I think you can rattle Brady. I don't think you can rattle Mahomes. But yeah. you gotta get to him. But you also got to be careful, because Mahomes is at his best and Kelsey's at his best when they have a broken play. Is that a fair statement? When they have broken plays, they're dangerous. And then that kid Xavier, he's lightning. And with all the Tyreek Hill crying on it, he should have stayed on that team.
Xavier Worthy.
That kid is phenomenal. He's speed. He's catching. Hollywood Brown is playing. Chris Jones is playing. Now it's really a matter of, this is where Sirianni is going to either keep his job or win his keep. That's the sad part. This guy still has a chance of losing his job, and he's back at another Super Bowl.
See, I've not been paying attention to the buzz. Is he on the hot seat? I know it's sort of, this is kind of like he's in Kyle Shanahan territory of can he get it done? But I know he was on the hot seat earlier this year.
You know, I don't know if he's on. Byron can answer that real quick. I'll let Byron go, but I don't know if he's on the hot seat. But I will tell you that if he doesn't win, he's not going to be long term with the Eagles. Byron, you want to make a comment on that?
They're not going to replace him. You know, if win or lose, well, they lose because it seems like they've come to a medium, as far as, his hope, what they like his personality. He fits the Philadelphia, kind of guy. You got Big Dom there, keeping him under control. The only thing that's going to be different is like if Kellen Moore leaves, and gets a job, then, they got to replace another, OC. But, as far as him being on the hot seat, nah, he's good to go.
No, I guess what I'm saying is, 505.
Because Sirianni was on the hot seat earlier this year. Like God,
it was
probably like week 5 or 6. It was like they were ready to get rid of him, and then the Eagles just went on an absolute tear in the second half.
What I'm saying, Byron, I agree that he's not on a hot seat if he loses. But what I'm saying, if he loses, his longevity with the Eagles is going to shorten as opposed if he wins. Like it's not like if he loses, they're like, okay, he's still our guy. He just seems to be, no matter what this guy does, he's a season away from being replaced. That's my opinion. What are your thoughts on that?
But the question is, okay, we're thinking of the future, kind of, sort of. Who are you going to replace this guy with? He's a winner. He's been winning, 12, 13, games every year.
Which is pretty good.
Which is a really good record. So now you're going to be mad at the guy, because he can't, push him over the hump. Andy Reid was here for 10 years, Philadelphia. Went to 5, NFC champion and couldn't get over the hump. Got into 1 Super Bowl, and what they do? They ended up, firing him because, that's the way the business. Yeah. But him, for some reason, it's just his record. He has a really good record, and just to get rid of him, because he's been to 2 Super Bowls, he lost. We need to get rid of him. But who are you going to replace him with?
Plus, Kellen Moore is going to the Saints, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, it's time out. So I agree with you, but remember, this is Philly, right? So number
Trust
one,
me, I know.
Okay, so it's Philly. They won a Super Bowl. They got rid of the guy who won the Super Bowl 2 years later.
Well, yeah, because
he went with a backup quarterback
with Andy Reid and Doug Peterson, right?
Yeah,
that's right. Went to Jacksonville.
Yeah, both of them is like the teams were on a downward spiral, which is why Peterson got canned. If I recall correctly, that team also laid down for the Commanders or the football team, whatever they were, in that Sunday night game to give them the division title, not the 6-10 New York Giants.
Yeah.
That was a fun year.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that
if Sirianni bottoms out and they go 6-10 or 6-11, yeah, he's gone.
Yeah,
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, I just think that he'll still be. I'm just saying he's gonna be the talk. That's the bottom line.
100%.
He's gonna, if he doesn't win, he's gonna be talk. Not only that, he's gonna be the talk, but it's gonna be now the issue is gonna be, okay, Barkley doesn't get the record, and you don't win the Super Bowl. I'm just bringing this up to have a conversation. But Byron, you know how the Philly, they're ever since they won the Super Bowl, they are way more desperate than they were when Andy Reid was playing.
Yeah, they're a little special,
right?
Because they're special.
They think they're going to go on a dynasty run, and with all due respect, you're not.
But have they turned on the switch in the playoffs, Vic?
They don't know how to turn on the light switch.
You got, but I think they got all these young guys that are not, they're, the bright lights, it's going to be different, in the Super Bowl, and I think they're going to play pretty well. That the young guys, and most, you figure Jordan Davis, 3rd or 4th year, Jalen Carter, 2nd year, the corners that they have. This team is young. They're not. They don't know any better. And I think they're going to go out there and they're going to ball out. They're going to do their thing. But it's just that it's just the only guy that can hold him back is going to be the coach if he makes a bad decision. Sirianni. That's. But as far as everything else is good to go. With the offensive coordinator, Fangio, running the defense the way they're running. But the only person that can screw it all up is Sirianni by doing something dumb.
Yeah, if he does something, yeah. I don't know. I don't think. Again, I'm just saying that if he doesn't win I'm not saying if he doesn't win the Super Bowl. I'm just saying to you that now you've been there. It's not easy to get back. You're not Kansas City. That's the bottom line, right? You've been there 2 out of 3 years. You're playing against the same team. Okay, you lost the first time. Okay, you lose the second time. It's not easy getting back. They already were on the hot seat when he was 11 and something. I'm just saying that he's not going to be fired next year, but if he doesn't have another good season next year with a chance of getting to the Super Bowl, right? I think the following year he's on the hot seat again.
I agree.
Because pretty much that's what happened with Peterson. They went to the Super Bowl the next year. The year after that, we're done. And that I can sit there and see where they get rid of him. That if he has two, he goes to Super Bowl this year and then has back-to-back bad years, then he's going to be out of there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or if they don't make the Super Bowl, because now you've been there twice and you're just not there. That's not what I think they're just looking way more out of a team that the NFC East just doesn't have. As we haven't created dynasties. We'll win 2, and that's it. Except for back in the day with the Cowboys when we had VHS. But outside of that, there is no more, right? The NFC East is done 20 plus years without a back-to-back division title winner. Number one. Number two, how do you feel, Alex? Because I haven't got your opinion. How do you feel about Barkley? They not letting Barkley go for that record.
I think I remember I was on after. I mean, I think at the end of the day, if Barkley wanted to play, they would have let him do it. I think genuinely he wanted to rest to be in this opportunity for the playoffs and potentially win a Super Bowl, because he won't shut up about it every week on TV, with his nice PR machine, telling us how great he's having it in Philly. If he really wanted the Eric Dickerson record, he would have played in Week 18.
Yeah, look, he's a humble guy, but at the end of the day, for me, everyone else has a different opinion. It's the Giants. I mean, he had almost 200 yards against the Giants. He's been playing so good. The Giants were so bad. He would have had his 100 yards in probably the first quarter. Maybe the first half.
Man.
No, it was terrible. I still wanted him to get the record. So that's my opinion. I'm going to leave that one alone. I think Kelsey's going to have a good game. I think it's going to be a good game. I'm going to be honest with you. I do think Philadelphia is the better team.
Wow.
Okay. Santiago, what are your thoughts?
Yes. They have a better defense. They're number 1. Kansas City is number 3. They do have a better offense with Saquon, better running game, better receivers. So it does look like it on paper, but it's all about who does better on the whole strategy game. And I think Kansas City knows how to slow a team down and knows how to strike. They play all strategic. Kind of reminds me of the Patriots teams back in the day.
Yeah. Okay. And Byron, who do you think is the better team just going into it? Forget about who's going to win or not.
Eagles, as far as, offensive line, they got the advantage. Defensive line, they got the advantage. Corners, they got, as far as defensive backs, they have the advantage. So, yeah, the Eagles, to me, but let's throw this out there. With the kickers, both of them have struggled. The kicker for Kansas City has struggled, and Elliott for the Chiefs, not the Chiefs, but for the Eagles has a kick like he normally does. And if it comes
Harrison
down to
Butker for the Chiefs,
if it comes down to a game, where somebody's going to kick it, which one of them are you going to trust as far as making a big kick? That's what it's going to come down to.
I trust Elliott to make a game-winning kick. I don't trust him to not miss a random extra point or field goal in the first quarter of the game. That will not feel like it's meaningful in the moment, but will come down to a game of inches.
Okay. Who do you think is the better team?
I think the Eagles are the better team on paper, but that's why we don't play games on paper. But no, the Eagles are, I think, talented across the board, almost in almost every category except for a handful. I think they match up or are better than the Chiefs.
Wes, who do you think is a better team?
I hate to say it too. I do think the Eagles are the better team on paper. I don't know, man. At every position but quarterback, they're just outmatched.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs,
and their quarterback's not bad. It's just that he's not Patrick Mahomes.
Of course.
Patrick
But
Mahomes.
I
It's
think
like the Brady talk, where it's like no one's Brady, but that doesn't mean everyone else you compare him to is terrible.
No, for sure, and no one's Mahomes either, to be fair. But I don't know. I feel like if you were to force me to put money on this, I'm taking the Eagles.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, let's put money on it. I'll take the Chiefs.
Why though? Okay, you just said the Eagles are better on paper.
Exactly.
Why do you take the Chiefs then?
I'm saying the Eagles are a better team I forget about paper. I think they're just a better team. Like not on paper.
For sure.
They have better talent on offensive line, their defensive line. They finally got good cornerbacks.
No doubt.
They have great receivers. They got a good quarterback. I mean, that's where they got the edge over there is a good quarterback. If you go look at it, the Chiefs had more turnovers. The Chiefs were the only team in the playoffs to have a turnover and actually win. Every other team that had turnovers lost in the playoffs. Correct, Santiago?
That is correct. I think
they all lost when they have turnovers except for the Chiefs. Okay, so that's the deal. The X factor is the willingness to win. They've been there. They've done it. Think about it. Okay, a year ago on the championship stage in a speech, Patrick Mahomes told everybody, "We're going to be back, but this time we're playing at home." For the AFC Championship. Literally stated it.
I get that.
Where did they play the AFC Championship this year?
KC.
Okay,
KC,
yes,
Arrowhead Stadium.
exactly. They had two losses. One loss was they didn't play any of their players. The other loss was away. They have one loss. Now, they're not playing at Kansas City, but they're playing in New Orleans, which is a dome, which doesn't help, Philadelphia, because they're cold. Kansas City's cold too, but playing in the dome is different. The reason why I'm going to pick Kansas City's one, I don't want to go against Patrick Mahomes because I lost every single time. And I did pick the Eagles last time when they were better on paper against Mahomes. Mahomes got hurt and came back and still won. I just think that they have something, and the hard side part of it is the fact that they, they're going for 3. That's not easy. But they did call it. I mean, they did say what it is to say we're coming back for a 3-peat is one thing. Right? It's another thing to say, not only that, we're going to play this AFC Championship at home and do it, right? But to say you're going to come back for a 3-peat, does anyone on this panel think that you could come back for a 3-peat? And by the way, I shouldn't be saying 3-peat because we're going to get charged. If you're going to if you're going to come back to win 3 Super Bowls or a Chief-peat, right? You can't get a Chief-peat unless you're in the Super Bowl. Yes or no? So they've done everything, and I just think Spags is one of the best schematic defensive coaches that we've seen. He adjusts. He knows when to make the calls. He knows when to make it. I'm sure his entire game plan is to stop, right, Saquon. Think about what he did with Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry still was getting some yards. But sure enough, Baltimore became Baltimore. They decided to go away from their game plan, right? They didn't give Derrick Henry the ball enough times. But what happened in the beginning? They did not let Henry take over the game. They made sure they stopped the game. Am I missing something there, Byron?
Well, Spag, they haven't given up like a 100-yard rusher, I think, in 18 games, something like that, with the Chiefs.
Right.
But I'm gonna be the devil's advocate right now. I'm gonna start as usual. When you look at the Kansas City, like the Philadelphia defense, when Philly played, when Kansas City played Tampa Bay, and when they beat them, what did they do? They had those two big guys in front, Tampa Bay. They had Sue and they had Vita Vea. They had good linebackers. They had the good edge rushers. They had good corners, and they had good safety. That's what Tampa Bay, that was their recipe as far as beating the Chiefs. What did they do? They didn't let the Chiefs go and throw deep. I can see them doing the same thing because the Eagles play a two deep. They'll cover two. They'll got guys back, so they don't get beat deep. They have a good linebacker. Zach Broad is all pro. They got those two big guys in the middle, and they have two great. They have a bunch of edge rushers, a bunch. So yeah, I could see the same thing would happen with Tampa Bay might happen again because it just looks the same to me.
Well, here's okay. I'm gonna let somebody answer that. Okay, Santiago, what are your thoughts on that? Because I've been talking a lot.
Yeah, so Byron's saying the Eagles defense can stop the Chiefs. My question is, what are the Chiefs going to do? They're going to give it to Isaiah Pacheco a lot. They're going to give it to Worthy. What is going to be their strategy? Because it's not like their offense has been a little bit messy. It's not a good offense. Even Mahomes has said that their offense is not that good. So what they're going to do?
Alex?
Kareem Hunt, I think. Like he's been like weirdly kind of like a bell cow all year where like he just sort of when they've needed something from him, he's been able to help achieve some points for them. I think Kareem Hunt's kind of like really one of the other than Mahomes being the X factor, I think Hunt will be an integral part of them scoring points and winning this game.
Wes Welker. I love saying that name, Wes Welker. That's funny.
So I do agree that Hunt will do well. I think he'll score. I think Xavier Worthy is going to be the key in this game. I think he's going to go off. I think he's going to be the Chiefs' answer to Saquon, to be honest. So, I don't know. If the Eagles can stop Xavier, then they win. But I don't think they do. So,
all right, I'm gonna throw a wrench in your game because Santiago Noah's coming in hot today. Coming in hot. Coming in hot.
Be careful.
Here's the difference. When the Chiefs were winning and when the Tampa Bay beat the Eagles, right? I mean, when Tampa Bay beat the Chiefs, okay? The Chiefs' game plan was always throwing it deep. That's when everyone was complaining. They were playing, playground football. Tyreek Hill was killing it. Xavier is awesome. He's quick, but he's not playing the level Tyreek was playing during that time. So if they go too deep, trying to prevent that deep ball, Kelce is going to eat them up. To me, that's the key to the game. Middle of the field, hitting Kelce. Kelce had 160 yards, not in the last game, the game before. Like, they're not going deep. They were going deep a lot when Tyreek Hill was playing. It made sense to go too deep and don't get beat deep. Now they got a problem. They can't. They got to be. They're winning more in the middle field. They're not really. How many long balls is he really throwing? Patrick Mahomes hasn't been throwing a lot of deep passes for long yardage this year.
Dang.
Yeah. So are you concerned about Kelce's last game at all, or what?
I don't know if this is his last game.
No, he says he's coming back. He has a full heart of football left of him, he said.
Yeah, he's got time. I mean, listen to me. By having that big game he had the other day, he showed everybody, I'm not ready to retire yet, right?
Yeah.
Now, if it was me at his age with the money and his girlfriend that's a billionaire, I'd retire. I got three, for you to go for 4P, and nobody's got that term like
trademark.
So I could say 4P. To come back for a 4P, like to come back just to play. Again, I'm not at that level. I would understand, but I'm just saying, man, you got so much other stuff to do. Byron, you tell me, don't you come back because you won a Super Bowl? Isn't that the reason? Or do you come back just to play?
You come back to win a Super Bowl. Not
exactly.
Just, because he's going to get paid regardless, but you come back to get another ring.
Exactly. So my point being is here. If this thing ain't working, I'm gonna have a heart attack. I'm sending it. I'm doing business while I'm doing this podcast here. I'm trying to get this DocuSign in.
He's trying to close a $1 million deal.
Hey, so anyhow, first of all, Alex, do you understand what I'm saying? I don't know what your thoughts on it. They were a different team with Tyreek Hill than they are today.
I would agree that because the loss to the Bucs humbled them, and then they lost the year subsequent to the Bengals, and then they really just retooled the offense, and I think also bolstered up that defense to really just become the juggernaut they've been for now 3 consecutive seasons. Mm-hmm. You're right. Yeah, that Super Bowl I think was a humongous sort of it's such a weird thing to look back on. Granted, it was also the COVID Super Bowl, but
yeah, they were a different team, right? So I think that's the difference. I think Byron's right if that's how they were playing. I'm not disagreeing with how Tampa won. I'm not disagreeing with Byron's thinking of the game plan. I just think that they're hitting more receivers than they did before. It was Kelsey or Tyreek Hill. Now they're hitting Kelsey. They're hitting Xavier. They're hitting Hollywood Brown. They got Pacheco. Don't they have another running back that's also doing pretty well? Hunt.
Kareem Hunt, yes.
Yeah, I mean, so they got way more weapons than they had before, and he's using them. And then his safety belt is Kelsey. And then this guy, you got to admit, he gets hit, but he doesn't get hurt. Patrick Mahomes. I mean,
don't forget about D-Hop, right, Byron?
Yeah, not yet. Yeah,
right. So
I think what's also impressive is the fact that with the Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, that was at the start of the year their second and third guys. Rashee Rice, I think, hasn't he been injured since October or something like that? He was injured very early in the year, and he was the running back on the team. So it's sort of really, as you talk about, Victor, the depth on their offensive weapons has been very good to see, or fun to watch, I should say. I know a lot of people hate the Chiefs. I'm not one of them. Not just
I'm not either. I'm not. It's just hard. Byron doesn't want to hear it. Look, I'm not going against Patrick Mahomes. Number one, that's bottom line. Santiago last because I was 1 for 3, and I'm not doing that again.
Victor picked the Dolphins over the Chiefs last year.
I'm undefeated now. And now, but I want Saquon to have a good game.
Is that the only reason, man? That's it.
Yeah, that's it. If Saquon wasn't on that team, I'm full tilt Kansas City. Right. And my nephew is a Philadelphia fan. Shout out to Jake Gisbert. It's his team. So anyhow, let's move on. Any other comments on the Super Bowl? So first of all, let's get your picks. Byron, what's your pick?
Philadelphia Eagles in a romp.
In a romp. Oh my God. Please record this. Listen, what time 28. It's 8:51. Please record this, Santiago. 8:51.
37 minute mark.
Because when we come back next week, and it's
fly,
not a romp.
There you go.
But it's not a romp. He's gonna lie. He's gonna say, I didn't say that. I picked Kansas City. So
we're getting this ready for old takes exposed.
Look at the size of Byron's wingspan. It's like see, look at that. Look how he can't even be on camera, man. He's so big. Yeah. What do you got, Santiago?
Chiefs 27-24.
Chiefs 27-24. Who you got, Alex?
Chiefs 31, Eagles 27. Yes, it's hatred, but I'm sticking to. In addition, I'm also like
who you got, Wes?
So I hate to say it too, but I got Chiefs by a field goal.
Okay, so you just told me, you just argued with me that I said that Philadelphia was a better team. And
I know.
Why are you picking the Chiefs?
I know. I can't bet against
you. You think I listen? I forget that. You gave me some Vermont teddy bear hate. Come on. And talking smack because I said, and then you did the same thing.
No, I know. I'm guilty. I'm very guilty. But
so now I'm nervous because every time everybody goes against, this is where I'm a little nervous. Every time when the whole panel goes against Byron, he usually wins. Now that's a problem. I needed someone else to pick Philadelphia because that's what happened with Washington. Remember, I think, Alex, you were on the show. Everybody picked against Washington, and they won.
Fly.
All right. Let's go on real quick to another one. Where do you think Myles Garrett should go?
Ooh.
And I don't blame him. I think he's doing the right thing. Get out of Dodge. Byron, that's your position. Where should he go?
Detroit Lions.
Ooh.
That was one I was thinking of earlier.
Okay, that's one. I would say Detroit. Go ahead, Alex. What do you think?
I think another one to throw out there because they're entering a good sweet spot, Washington. If they have the capital.
That's a good one. I like that one. Go ahead.
Don't they have Montez Sweat, or did he go to Chicago? I can't remember the order.
Santiago, where do you think he should go?
That's a good question. I have not thought about that. I would have to say Detroit. It might be up there. I've been hearing that rumor.
West, welcome.
Yeah, I'm on Washington too. I like that pick.
I like Washington. I'll tell you what, I like Washington. I like Detroit. The problem is Detroit, they got to stay thing. I like Washington because that'll make them good. But you know what would be a good team to go on?
New York Giants.
Ravens.
Well, apparently,
why the Ravens, Vic?
Because the Ravens need something else to get them past. They just can't get past anything. You know what I mean? And I just think that, Harbaugh's a defensive coach. All the Ravens championships were won on defense. The two that they won on defense. They had two quarterbacks that, you could name them, but they're kind of funny. Flacco and Trent Dilfer. Come on.
Okay, well, hold on. This defense that gave up 3 or 4 unanswered touchdowns in the second half of that Super Bowl. The Ravens were beating the snot out of the 49ers, the power outage, which is ironically, they're back in the Superdome. And then the 49ers just went on a tear and almost won the game. I don't remember if it was a 6-point game or a 3-point game, but the Niners got close to tying or winning that game from that vaunted defense that they have in the Baltimore Ravens. No, that was when Flacco had that Hail Mary against Denver. He was the MVP.
That's true, but remember, Myles Garrett he's a beast. He's going to get in other words, think about it. In the playoffs, it's all about turnover, winning the turnover battle. Do you agree? Him on a team, not worrying, because he even said it. I need to be on a team with a quarterback. He point blank said it. And how many quarterbacks did they talk about? And by the way, for the record, they mentioned today that the Deshaun Watson is going to go down in history as the worst deal in history. Didn't I call that, Santiago, several years ago?
Yeah, probably worse than the Luka trade.
Luka trade was the worst. Luka trade was good. We're going to talk about that in a second. Luka trade was good. So anyhow, all right, so Wes Welker, I just want to make for the record, you win the same record. Now I'm nervous because everyone went against Byron, and then when that happens, it's never good. But and by the way, Byron needs to win because he's a good man. He does wheels on meals, and he don't want to get beat up by those 80-year-old people. All right. All right. So Myles Garrett was one. What do you think about Byron? This is your old saying about how they just keep everything in the family. What do you think about the Dallas coach?
That's what I think. Just that. Maybe he wants. I don't know. That was just a weird, process. And maybe it's in the blood. Because it's Marty's son. That they probably found a diamond in the rough, and just give the guy the benefit of the doubt, man. You never know what's going to happen.
What do you? Okay, and then one more question about because I want to move on quick to a couple of basketball things. But what do you think about Aaron Glenn? Aaron Glenn seemed like he was mad. He kind of sounded like he was like Rex Ryan. He was coming across. He was just mad at the conference.
In his press conference, you mean?
In his press conference, we're gonna do this, and I'm like, come on, dude, you were a defensive back. Come on.
He played New York, man. He got to come there with a little fire, man. That's all he's trying to do, man.
Yeah. He might keep Aaron.
Why?
Yeah, I don't think it's a matter of him keeping Aaron. It's a matter of whether Aaron wants to stay.
He says it's not up to him.
Because you're a brand new coach. You're not going to ruffle the feathers with a Hall of Famer, right? But at the end of the day, Aaron's going to decide he's going to stay. He's going to decide if Devontae Adams is going to stay, and they got to decide what's going to happen. But that conference is wide open. Right, I mean the Jets anybody in that division can make a run. The Pats, the Dolphins, because right now the king right now is the Bills.
With the kingpin,
now
they're the Kings right now. So that one's open. And then with Pete Carroll, dude, we have a conference with the greatest probably set of coaches in any conference in history.
Yeah,
Probably
Division,
all.
not conference,
Right.
division.
The difference. The division.
AFC.
We have they have the if they get a superstar quarterback, that's going to be the most dangerous conference ever. Because there's 3 great quarterbacks with 4 great coaches. Would anybody disagree with that?
No, marketably, it's a graphic dream for any television network to have Pat Mahomes, Herbert, or Pete Carroll, and Andy Reid. Like any variant of that you want to throw out there, every TV executive is loving this whenever they have AFC West games.
AFC West.
And I'm surprised Pete Carroll took that job. I mean, I just don't.
He's 72 years old, man. This is the last. He's got a lot of energy, for his age and everything. But this is the last go round. This is his last job.
Trail.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
just like Belichick on the recruiting trail, he's got that energy.
Yeah,
Belichick ain't on no recruiting trail. Are you kidding me? Belichick sends a signed autograph to a kid, and they're coming. That's it. I don't think Belichick doesn't have to do anything. And North Carolina in his division, it's an ACC, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the conference, not division.
He's in the conference. He's in the conference. The ACC. The ACC is wide open right now. I mean, there's nobody that's dominant there.
Miami Hurricanes, right, Byron?
Clemson.
But Cam is leaving.
But they got Carson Beck.
And then
$4 million man.
Yeah, but you got Belichick. I mean, think about it. If you were a recruit, where would you go? I would go to the best NFL coach known to mankind. Your track to the NFL is a lot easier playing under Belichick than any of the other coaches in the ACC. Does anyone disagree with that?
You got Debo, man.
Who?
Dabo was
Dabo.
No.
Dabo. Yeah.
I like Dabo Sweeney.
Dabo. Yeah.
But okay.
Dabo.
If I told you I play for Dabo Sweeney or I play for Bill Belichick, what would impress you more?
Bill Belichick. I want some NFL training ready to go.
He's already bringing NFL coaches there.
Exactly.
And and then let me ask you a question. You're on the draft. Al, I'm asking you. I'm gonna ask Wes Welker since he's new. Okay, Wes. You're on an NFL team. You're on the draft team. You're calling Belichick to say, hey, what do you think about this player? And you're calling any other coach and asking what you think about the fella. Who's going to have more weight, in your opinion, who to draft?
Oh, that's a tough question. I mean, you know who I'm going to say, but...
Oh, that's right. You're a Pats fan. I probably asked the wrong guy.
Yeah, you sure did. You sure did. But
I wouldn't take Belichick's... where he sucked as a GM, just so we know.
Oh, agreed.
But he's not a GM; he's a coach.
Yes,
he also rehabilitated a lot of ex-players, though.
Yeah, but if you're going to call him, asking him opinion about players, maybe he'll know about his own. But as far as him asking what other people, he was a little shaky, toward the end.
That's a good point. All right, I'll give it to you that. I just think he's got a lot of weight. I think he's going to get a lot of kids coming to his school. Oh my God! Hold on, let me make. Can you make that picture bigger? That's his girlfriend.
That's his girlfriend. Hold on, let me pull it up here, but keep going.
Pull it up, make it bigger because I got.
They are strong admirers.
Let me get rid of some stuff so I can see it bigger.
They're strong admirers of entrepreneurship and business. I think that's what they talked about when they first.
24-year-old.
I just, what is it? I mean, I think he's how?
It's a Super Bowl ring. That's right. It's a Super Bowl ring.
It's all those rings he got on his finger right there. There's a whole bunch of them on there.
You know how they met? They met like at an airplane flight, and she asked for his autograph for his book or something.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he left his number.
Damn, he's slick.
Wow. Oh, Slick Billy.
Oh man, damn. God bless him. Good. I'm gonna write a book. All right, let's get it. Santiago, you got the banners. Let's put some NFL stuff, NBA put up. It's not
all
like
right.
it
Let's
just
go for the first big story of the week. No. Lakers trade Luka. That's the big story.
That's not the first one. That one.
One of Jimmy
Byron,
Butler.
any thoughts on that one? No, let's go. Let's go with the big Jimmy Butler. I'm pissed at him. We can go him next. Luka's number one. Luka is the most. You got to agree. Luka is the most surprising out of the entire in the history of basketball. I would say that was the most surprising thing I thought I would have ever seen. Especially that Dallas is known to keep foreign players for life. Right? So
new ownership, right, Byron?
He's only 25.
Yeah.
Byron, what were your thoughts when you heard that? I was in disbelief.
When I saw it, when I got up, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, wait. Nah, not this guy. Because I
thought it was a lie.
I thought it was just like a big joke. And I'm like, well, and then I thought, well, if Mark Cuban is there, there's no way this guy is going to trade him. He's just not Cuban. Yeah, Cuban. That he wouldn't trade, that he wouldn't trade this guy. And then it was like, they really did it. And it has to be a reason why, that they traded, this guy. It's more to the story. They're saying that, his weight, and they were saying this and
his
whatever.
Conditioning skills, has an attitude in the locker room.
Okay,
I can't imagine him having an attitude. Luka doesn't seem like the guy has an attitude. I think he's a little crybaby because he cries about fouls all the time. But I don't. He's not an attitude kind of guy.
But he puts up a lot of points, so you put up with that. Like, that's the thing. Like, guys who are out of shape or had behavioral issues, James Harden and Zion Williamson, that's different. You don't tolerate that. But Luka's 25, in his prime, led you to the NBA Finals not even 12 months ago.
Right.
And just out of nowhere, in the middle of the night, they just dumped this trade out that, like, yeah, Luka's going to the Lakers. People say the NFL is rigged. I want them to explain this to me. How out of nowhere, where all the Luka stuff aside, imagine even like a bidding war. They could have probably gotten 2 first-round picks, if not more, if they put him on the open market.
They got more than 2.
Davis is not a number one guy. He's a number 2 guy.
The Lakers and was just like, "Do you want Luka Doncic?" And they're like, "Sure." And they get to offer Anthony Davis, who, while still good, bit of injury prone, 31. It's really weird. I mean, really, the stories. I think it comes down to the ownership's getting cheap, whoever the new ownership is, and Luka was due the supermax, I think, after this upcoming offseason. So, like, essentially, he lost out on like $100 million between the supermax contract and all the taxes he now has to pay playing in LA.
He got crushed with money. But you know what? So go ahead. But Santiago, what was your piece on Luka?
Yeah. So Luka, there's a lot of different things coming in. The general manager of the Mavericks and Lakers, they knew each other for 25 years, so they've kept it really hush-hush for 4 weeks. No one knew this. LeBron did not knew this.
LeBron didn't know it.
I know. LeBron usually had to pass through, some big decisions through him, but this time it wasn't. It was all Pelinka and this guy Nicholas Morris, I think his name is. But new ownership, Mark Cuban had nothing to do with it. I think he owns about 15% of the Mavericks right now, so he did not have any say. So either A, he was not good, like physically conditioning. I heard he had an attitude. That's what I've heard. Or B, they just want to restart and see what they can do. AD is a big guy. They got Kyrie still. The guy still had Klay Thompson. So, but we'll see how things pan out. And then a whole nother conspiracy I heard. They want a tank so they can move the team to Vegas, which is where the owners are from.
Yes, I have heard that one, and it wouldn't shock me.
They want to
relocate the team.
Man, think about that comment. Let me get rid of a generational 25-year-old to tank, and then really I'm saying, hey, let me get Anthony Davis so I can tank.
Thank you. Like, I feel like you tank when you're terrible, but you weren't terrible.
You were in
really
the finals.
Well, no,
why are you trying to
they're
tank?
not tanking in the way of like what some teams in the NBA do. They're making a lot of bad faith with the fan base who are not going to show up in droves and be like, see, our attendance is like the Oakland A's, although they were just tanking. But
Mark
like,
Cuban is gonna regret selling that team.
Yeah, agreed.
Because he was a major fan. I mean, he really turned that team around. And I think now that he doesn't have it, I mean, he made his billion, so there's only so much you regret you could have. But I have met millionaires that have sold their companies and made a lot of money and have told me that they regret selling it because of what happened to the company, meaning they were already making money, so there was no need to sell it. So I think that's the play. But now let me tell you my side. I think that, they were big on defense wins championships, which I agree. They only won one game in the playoffs, right? I mean, that's it. They didn't really do much, number one. And then number two, the Mavericks, right?
There was a great series last year. The Celtics just completely outclassed them.
Oh, yeah.
They crushed them.
Random game.
And remember, Santiago, I was telling you that I didn't understand Klay Thompson move because, one thing about the Celtics, they moved the ball around. Right, it wasn't a one. In the Dallas was a two-man team. It was either Kyrie driving, or it was Luka getting the ball. Doing the ball. They said that they averaged the highest amount of dribbles than any team before they took a shot. Okay, you're not going to win that way, especially against the Celtics. So.
Full disclosure, Victor it was a basketball coach when he was young.
Yeah, and I'm just saying that was no way to win the game. And then when you add Klay Thompson needs to get the ball while things are moving. What made him so great is that the Golden State Warriors, they move that ball around. I mean, they move it around so much that Curry runs all day long. The guy wouldn't be running all that much if he knew the ball was going to come back and swing to him. Is that a fair statement, Byron?
Yep.
Okay, why would you be running around if they were not going to pass the ball around? You're just going to be running for running.
Thompson was the MVP. It was Iguodala in that first championship team.
Exactly. So now look at the Lakers. Everyone's like, oh, these guys are good. The Lakers were brilliant. And look, LeBron may not have a pick, but he can't complain. And he already said he's not going to exercise his trade clause. They must have talked to him afterwards, says, look, trust us. They got rid of him. They're saving some money. They just added an incredible center. So now they replaced the guy because, come on. When Anthony Davis played at his greatest, man, that dude I thought was going to be the best, greatest player that I've ever seen because he was phenomenal. But then he would have lousy games. He was always hurt. LeBron pretty much had to carry that team. Now you got a legitimate guard that can pass. He averages double-doubles. He's 25 years old. He's going to see the way that LeBron trains. That's going to rub off on him. He's in Laker Nation that they're not going to accept that. So he's going to be on the biggest – come on. Well, who do you think draws a bigger audience in a crowd? LA Lakers or Dallas Mavericks? Okay.
Lakers.
Okay. He's going to lose $100 million going to the Lakers. Do you not think he's going to get crazy endorsements from LA? Do you not think he's going to get
I'm sure he'll have a movie.
A lot of sponsors over there. Now they just added the center. I don't remember his name, but I just was reading up on him.
Jared Vanderbilt, was that?
This kid is young, and he's really good. And he's not a guy like an Anthony Davis that has to have the ball. Now, LeBron can take a break because Luka, even though Luka was out of shape and he looks out of shape, he played a lot of minutes in the playoffs.
But I think
Mark Williams
tonight.
Okay, but didn't Luka play a lot of minutes in the playoffs, even though he was out of shape? And he was still scoring. So I think
didn't play defense.
The Lakers are dangerous. I think LeBron's making a run to go for another playoffs. They're not far off. And let me tell you, Redick is coaching. They're doing a good job coaching. I think he's won 10 out of his last games. What are they, in 5th place?
They're in 5th place, right behind the Nuggets.
8 of their last 10.
Look at that. Look at how much I haven't even seen. They're in 5th place. Okay? They're going to make a move. So I think it's a good move. I
think
like
they're championship contenders?
I think they're champion. Now they are.
Byron?
Nah.
Byron just wants to go against.
No, because you have those two. Both of them are going to want the ball. So you figure when they it's one ball. Both of them need the ball to do their thing. I've watched, and he dribbles and he dribbles and he dribbles, and he really doesn't move too much. So now you got two of these guys doing the same thing. What everybody else is supposed to stand, the other three are going to stand there and watch them dribble the ball around. The same thing is going to happen in Dallas.
Nah, Reddick's too good. But Reddick's too good of a coach, and you can't say that. Kyrie's not even close to LeBron's level. Number one. Number two, they have a lot of good young players, and JJ Redick is coaching his butt off, right? So that's that. And the other thing is LeBron's going to be able to rest a little bit more because he doesn't have to. Because remember, LeBron has to carry the team. He's doing triple doubles at his age. But now you got Luka to put up points. You don't have to worry about that. LeBron can take a little break. You got a center that you don't have to worry about being hurt. Okay. And you got a phenomenal coach. So I think he's going to play a different. And then remember, they run a different offense. Right? They were letting Luka run that offense. The Lakers don't run that same offense that Dallas runs. So I think they're a legitimate contender with the teams that they have. They're young enough, and LeBron can take a break now. LeBron had to carry that team. If LeBron didn't score in double figures, that team was getting blown out.
He scored 40 points the other night or something?
Exactly.
And how old is he, Byron?
40.
52.
Oh, wow. He's not as good as Dr. J.
I think it was a great move. I'm happy for them. I'm not a big LeBron fan because of the Heat, but I'm happy for Luka, and I like to see Luka. I want to see Luka win a championship. I think he deserves it. But I'm telling you, think about how many years this kid got left. He's 25. He's been playing 16 as a pro. He's only 25 years old. He seems like he's been in the league for 30 years. All right, so what's the next move? Let's go there.
Speaking of the Heat,
Butler.
Give me buckets to – no, sorry, not the Lakers. Sorry, let me correct that. He's going to the Warriors.
I think that's a bad move. What do you think about Alex? What are your thoughts on that?
As someone who respects the at-time work ethic of Jimmy Butler, I think he's completely lost all of his good grace with his antics with the Heat. Because, the Heat were sort of like, all right, this is finally the place for him. He was – a jerk in Minnesota. He was a jerk in Philly. He ends up in Miami, and he's running Heat culture, which I think is a crock of a lot of things. But
don't be talking about my Heat, man. We're friends. We're friends because of Jennifer, but don't be talking about my Heat.
I'll insult Heat culture if I want. It didn't. But at the end of the day, this may finally do in the Warriors. Not that the Warriors, they've been kind of falling off a bit, but just the fact that Jimmy Butler with Draymond Green, who is also very animostic, so those two are going to be something. It's interesting. It's certainly a new place for him, but I don't think it's going to pan out well. They'll be the honeymoon period, and then it's going to be bad.
Yeah, go ahead. What do you think, Santiago? Because I know you're big into the basketball.
Yeah. So I was hearing a lot of analysts this morning. Windhurst, he said, can they gel? And have enough time by the playoffs to gel together. That's the question. Can the egos between him and, just like Alex said, him and Green, Butler and Green could get along? I'm sure they can. Well, Vector says no. We'll see what happens. But I think this could be the missing piece, Warriors, for that last dance for the Warriors. I think this might be the one that tip them over. We'll see.
What do you think there, Byron?
We were talking about this earlier before we went on, as far as, people with the load management and all the other crazy things, you figure you're paying millions of dollars, to play a game that you love. And then this guy really doesn't want to play with the Heat. He didn't want to play, they got to suspend him. They got to do this. And then, pretty much, all right, well, we're tired of you. We're tired of you. You got to go. And pretty much, he got his way. Another spoiled, athlete. Instead of doing the right thing, and you're there for your teammates, not yourself. But it just proved that he's a selfish guy. And the same thing, and he was like that in Philadelphia. And the same thing is going to happen, with the Warriors. That they might get into a fist fight. Who knows? Draymond Green and this guy.
Little chokeholds.
Who knows?
Yeah, I think because look at the KD and Draymond couldn't get along, and KD doesn't have the same disposition as Jimmy Butler. Get me wrong, Jimmy Butler did great for us in the Heat. I just think he never had that.
He beat the Celtics.
He never had that like Dwayne Wade killer instinct when we needed it. Like Dwayne knew when to take over the game. Jimmy Butler sometimes would take over and then lack off, take over and then lack off. I liked him when he was here. I don't think he's a good fit for the Golden State, because Golden State needs another shooter. You know, that's what made Klay Thompson so good. And they rotate the ball, they move around. How many times have you seen Jimmy Butler really move the ball around? You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know what's going on there. I feel bad because I like Stephon Curry. I'm not big there, and I can't imagine him getting along with Stephen Curry. I can't imagine him getting along with Draymond Green. You know, I seen that's going to be a clash, like right off the bat. They're going to be happy in the beginning, but they're looking bad. And let me tell you, that kid Wiggins is good.
Wiggs
is good. You know, I think Miami Heat needs something else. I don't know what they need to do to turn around, but I will tell you, getting rid of Jimmy Butler is going to give him some room. And you know, Riley's a mastermind. You know, Miami's a mastermind. Yeah, he needs one more player. I just wish. Where's the Heat now? The Heat are not doing well.
6 behind the Bucks and ahead of the Pistons.
Okay, so if the Heat's in 6, they're still in the playing game, and you know they're always dangerous coming in. They're just not talking about it. I think they got room for make another trade. That's all. That's what I see that's happening there.
I think
KD turned down the Warriors.
Easier for the defending champions. I think the Cavs pose a challenge.
Yeah, Cavs are incredible. Let me tell you.
I don't buy into the Knicks, no matter how much talent they got in there. It's, you know, when April comes around, the Knicks will fold. It's really, I think we're setting up for Celtics Cavs.
I think the Celtics are still the Celtics
still
to me.
like the Knicks
to me, the
are
Celtics
like the
are
Ravens.
the team to beat because they've been there too many times, and then they finally won it. They got the experience. You know what I mean? I think the Cavaliers are phenomenal. They're just young. You know what I mean? They need to pay. It's like they're paying. It's like the old school now. They got to pay their dues. Boston paid their dues. I think Boston, you know, they're smart. They locked in everybody. They got a great team, and they're shooting more threes than anyone in the entire NBA.
And that's where we're now nervous about new ownership, where we saw what happened with Dallas, how very easily that could happen in Boston, depending on who gets the Celtics.
What do you mean?
So Wick Grossbeck, who's the owner, is selling the team, and they haven't announced who they're selling it to yet.
They're selling Boston?
Yeah, the owner of the Celtics, they're selling the team.
Yeah, it's been for a while. They've been trying to.
But like they're starting to line up who's in on it, who's not in on it. One that we're not really fans of, even though they're one of our teams. The Fenway Sports Group has been floated out there, but we've seen how they've handled the Red Sox and to an extent Liverpool.
Yeah. Although Liverpool's been doing well though.
Winning the league this year.
Yeah, we have enough money between the 5 of us. Let's chip in and see if we can buy it.
That's right.
Mark Cuban's available. So.
Yeah, okay.
That's true. But yeah,
Byron, you're retired. You got cash.
With the Celtics is ownership could dismantle it as easily as Dallas just did.
Dan Snyder is available, right, Byron? He's in London.
But they're all on the
we'll pass on him. Pass.
they're under contract, all those guys. But let me tell you something. Did you not see the reaction to the NBA with Luka that they all they're nervous. They're like the owners aren't messing around. When you can get rid of a generational 25-year-old, nobody's safe.
No one's safe.
Well, it's not that.
KD's
none of them are safe. The fact that they're losing out on lots of money. That unless the team's all in on you in your rookie contract, they're going to dump you. So not only do you not stick with the team, you lose out on that extra money.
Yeah, and I think that you know, these salaries, you know, the NBA, these are guaranteed contracts, man. The salaries are ridiculous.
Yeah, a whole bunch of money.
I mean, and they're guaranteed. I mean, you're done. You get paid. You know, whatever Luka was going to get paid, he was guaranteed. They're saving money. I mean, you know, that's why the NFL is the best run sport, and you got decent parity. Is because you know you better get your money up front, and those guys are starting to get paid, right? And I think Santiago, you mentioned that they were that they're trying to renegotiate the deals, the streaming deals.
Yeah, looks well. Goodell just commented that he thinks the deals are undervalued, so he's bluffing right now. So he wants the Amazons
on Christmas was.
But you got to agree. You got to agree that I think he's right. because if you
he could pay-per-view the Super Bowl if he wanted to.
Well, the deal is the reason why the reason why I think he's right is because now all the streaming, now you can only watch it on streaming. So when you somebody's paying for that streaming, so he's saying, okay, wait a second, if these games are getting put on there and you're getting all the money from streaming, you got to pay me more. I mean, and it stinks. I've predicted this several years ago. I'm scared that in several years we're going to have to be paying pay-per-view to watch the Super Bowl.
It could happen. Look, the AFC Championship game, 58 million people watched that game.
And what was it on?
58 million.
What was it on?
It was on
CBS. Yeah, regular CBS. And Paramount Plus, if you include that.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we had didn't Peacock get 2 exclusive games this year?
I think they did.
Yep.
They did.
They had at least one. I don't remember if they had a second.
And what about Prime? What about Thursday night on Prime? If you don't have Prime,
also had one, I think.
You can't watch the game.
You can't watch Thursday Night Football.
You cannot watch Thursday Night Football if you don't have Prime.
Which those games are not that good, right, Alex?
Most of them not so much now.
Oh, yeah. Patrick Surtain, Defensive Player of the Year.
Good job. Is it Surtain or Surtain?
Surtain. There you go.
We know who he's talking about. What's the difference?
I thought Myles Garrett won it.
Is it Saquon or Saquon?
I thought it was Wes Welker.
And Jalen Daniels, offensive player. Well,
Jalen Daniels won Rookie of the Year. Well deserved.
Yeah.
Who did?
Daniels.
Who did? Daniel Jones?
Jaden Daniels.
Really, man?
Daniel Jones, they've had the best contract.
Oh.
Man, leave my guy alone, man.
Come on. Wait a second. Let's go over there. Let's go as we're ending the football season without the football. Let's go over Let's go over some of Byron's man. Daniel Jones. Was it Sam Darnold? No. Who was the other one? Who was the other quarterback that you said, Byron?
Oh, Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
There you go.
Whoa.
Yeah, there wasn't a Thibodeau. Was it? But there was somebody. Oh my God, Byron! Some of the quarterbacks you picked were so funny.
Man, I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
You gave him the benefit of the doubt. You told him to get out.
Okay. Had to go.
I want Eli Manning first ballot. Okay, yes.
This weekend we'll find out.
He should be in the Super Bowl. Did you hear what Cam Newton said? That he should have a gold jacket if Eli Manning gets in. What's wrong with that guy?
Well, this is coming from the guy who said he would take individual success over a Super Bowl ring, which isn't not exactly.
Which is what happened. He went to the Super Bowl and didn't win.
Well, because he was an MVP. That was the thing.
I mean, look, Cam Newton, I think, had all the skills and so forth. But if I had to pick a team, if I had to start a team, who would you pick? Eli Manning, knowing what you know, Eli Manning or Cam Newton?
Eli, easy.
Went to 2 Super Bowls, beat Brady twice.
Yeah, Eli. He beat Brady and the best coach.
Twice.
By the way, fun fact, Dave Gettleman oversaw what was the greatest Panthers team and then immediately dismantled it right afterwards. That Super Bowl. Fun fact.
Brian Tepper.
The fun fact was Byron going with Detroit all year and then picked against them.
Of course.
I love it.
His own family.
And he was right.
Also, Saquon just won Offensive Player of the Year. He's accepting his trophy now.
Good job, Saquon.
But on the Eli conversation, looking at the ballot for the finalists, I think he gets in on the first ballot just because there's only so many people I could see getting votes in addition to him.
Man, but look, you could say whatever you want, but on the biggest stage of a career in NFL, he won 2 MVPs. He beat the GOAT, and he beat the GOAT of coaching. I don't understand how he can't get in. I mean, am I missing something there? Isn't football about, Byron, you said, what do you play for? You play for Super Bowl rings. Didn't you say that?
You figure, okay, his brother's already in the Hall of Fame. Peyton. His dad was a great player, with lousy teams. But his problem is that he played in New York. His record was 117 and 117. He threw a lot of interceptions. He's never all pro, and there's a whole lot of stuff that goes against him. But he did win the 2 Super Bowls, and he was MVP twice. Mm-hmm. So with that, yes, he should get it. But if you really think about it, it's like average career.
Yeah, but I think if somebody put up some numbers the other day where he was ranked in a lot of categories.
Well, and so that's where the argument, I think, the end of time that solidifies his Hall of Fame is, if Joe Namath is a Hall of Famer and he threw more interceptions than touchdowns, but he was the MVP of one of the most important Super Bowls in the history of the game, the passing stats, it's kind of almost skewed in the sense that in today's game, like Matt Stafford is a top passer. I don't know his exact numbers, but Stafford has some high numbers.
And he's coming back.
Yeah, but then you got, another argument. You got Jim Plunkett. He won 2-time MVP. Had all kind of adversity, through adversity his whole career. Jim Plunkett. What about him? He should get in the Hall of Fame.
And he hasn't been nominated yet, right?
He's never hit. Yeah.
Eli Manning has the 8th most interceptions.
Yeah,
amongst
he's way up
quarterbacks.
Way up there.
Wow, that's a lot of victory.
I think it just comes down to it's the online scrutiny of no, at a given time he wasn't MVP or the QB of the year, any of that. But when it came down to it on 2 different seasons with 2 different sets of whatever, he was able to get the job done, mostly on the road too. That's the thing. It's not like they were the number 1 seed. These were like the wild card, or I think the second time around they were division champs.
He was 9-7.
Like he had to go into Green Bay to beat Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. He had to go into San Francisco against Jim Harbaugh, an exceptional head coach, and win that game. They had to beat Dallas, who they lost to twice early in the year, and then beating the 18-0 Patriots, and then just beating them the second time.
You are what your record says you are.
And no. And here, let me give you something here for you, Byron, because Plunkett ain't there. He's 4th in passing yards amongst NFL Hall of Famers. He's behind Peyton Manning, then Brett Favre, then Dan Marino. He's in 4th. You can't tell me you don't. That's pretty good. Out of all quarterbacks, he's also 4th in TD passes behind Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, and Marino also, the same ones. Now, he's 8th most in interceptions, but, man, you got to admit, there was a lot of tip interception for him. He had to be the most unlucky quarterback to have tip passes that turned into interceptions. And they don't count those. But he's 4th, and he's 4th in several categories. I'm telling you, in all-time passing, right? He is an all-time passing. He's 4th by Hall of Fame quarterbacks, but he's 11th of all players. He had 57,000 passing yards.
But his record was
Matthew Stafford has 58,000. Dan Marino has 61,000. He's performed.
Caveats to the stat, because they're not yet Hall of Famers, that ranking will go lower once Brady and Drew Brees are inducted. But no, that is kind of an interesting. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Something seemed off about these numbers. Like, oh, it's because it's Hall of Famers. He is currently. He would be 4th when he gets in.
Yeah,
right.
Which he is, but is it first ballot or not?
I think it should be first ballot. I like it.
I mean, looking at that, Santiago had up the group of guys. I think Vinatieri should get in, one of the best.
Oh, absolutely.
Kickers. I think Antonio Gates, one of the better tight ends ever. Obviously, not Gronk. He's not Kelsey. He's not Tony Gonzalez. But like, that's quite a list to be on. Like those 3, I think, should get the votes. And then from there, I don't know how all NFL voting works. So like, how many choices you can pick, where if like these guys are picking like 2.
It's like 5.
Like I know, yeah, you
Secret
can have
ballot.
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, Alex.
I was gonna say, I think looking at this list, Antonio Gates, Eli Manning, Adam Vinatieri, those are the 3 I'm strongly. I like Kuechly, and even Steve Smith Sr. And if I got to pick 5 people on that,
wow, Charles Woodson.
Woodson.
Well, that's Charles Woodson.
Yeah. He hasn't been nominated until this year.
Cowboys, they would have just like
Woodson. I like Woodson.
Darren.
That's it.
Woodsy.
We're talking about Charles or Darren?
That's Darren.
Oh,
Darren Woodson. Which team did he play for, Byron?
Cowboys.
Oh, then he shouldn't get in.
Charles Woodson was the Raiders.
He shouldn't get in. No, Charles Woodson played for the Raiders, and I think he also played for Green Bay.
Then they got the senior finalists. Sherlyn Starp is one of them, from Green Bay. And the contributors, they got Mike Holmgren. I don't know why he's nominated, and Ralph Canton.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
But also, again,
I don't know why Coughlin didn't get in first.
But look, man, you do got to put some weight against who Eli beat. I mean, I'm just saying to you that
he beat the GOAT.
And he beat, and then like Alex said, that he had to go away and beat some of the best quarterbacks
and coaches.
And it's you can't say. People say you can't say, hey, that Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson can't perform when it counts, and then have that same statement, and then not have the same statement, but Eli Manning performs when it counts.
Yeah, but they're going to look at his overall record, like I said before, is 117 and 117. Then they're going to look at the interceptions. Then they're going to look at the fact that, like I said before, that he wasn't all pro. He wasn't this and he wasn't that. That's the stuff they're going to focus on with him. I want the guy to get in, but it's just that the little, nitpicky stuff that they're going to be doing.
Nitpicky stuff is he bet the best coach and the best player of all time. That's the number twice. And he even said on his podcast, he told Belichick, "Oh, Belichick, I love it," because Peyton Manning goes, "Man, Coach, I hated playing against you," and Peyton Manning goes, "Hey, Coach, I love playing against you." Hey, let me ask you a question: if Patrick Mahomes wins this Super Bowl, where does that rank him against Brady, or does he come above Brady, or he's not there?
He's not there yet. He's not there yet.
Not there yet.
Yes. Okay, go. Let's go one at a time. Good.
It's 7. Okay, so he wins this one, will be the 4th, so he's 3 shy, so he's not there.
Okay, Byron,
not there. If he wins 4,
he's halfway there.
Wes,
I do agree. If he wins 4, he's kind of there, but
inches.
Yeah.
Okay, Alex.
I think he moves solidly into second place, which stat I forget what the graphic I saw on X earlier today was. I think if he throws 2 or 3 touchdown passes, he'll be the second all-time in postseason touchdowns after Brady, who has like 89 right now, or something like that. Something ridiculous. But for Mahomes, it solidifies a top dynasty and era, and he's only he's not even 30.
No.
Oh yeah, he was 43, and I think the second highest was like 45. So if he throws like 2 to 3 touchdowns, he'll be second overall.
That's a lot.
Okay, here's my opinion.
Oh, go
Hold
ahead.
on. He has a.
Okay.
Let him finish.
Go
ahead, Wes.
Are we saying that like Mahomes is not currently in a dynasty? Like what does that take if he's not there now?
No, he's in a dynasty. The question is in a dynasty, but would he catch Brady? Would he be a GOAT above Brady? Like where would he stand against Brady winning his third Super Bowl in a row in his
green jacket room? Is he in that green jacket room with Brady, with Montana?
Yeah. I see. Okay.
Well, here's my piece. Right now, there's no better quarterback than him. He's the GOAT in the NFL. I think. Yeah. I don't think anyone's even close. There's not. I think everyone's close from second below. I don't think there's like the distance between 1 and 2 is pretty far. That's number 1. Number 2, I don't think he is going to be the GOAT against Brady. He has to catch him in Super Bowls. Remember, Brady's been to 10 Super Bowls. He won 7, but he's been to 10. Right? How many years did he play? 20-something years. So 50% of his career, he was in a Super Bowl.
Like 21, 22 years.
Okay. And then you got to remember, he never beat Brady. like Brady beat him to go to the Super Bowl. Brady beat him in the Super Bowl.
In Tampa.
Another argument for Eli Manning.
I mean, like I said, exactly. Exactly. I'm so glad you're a Giant fan. Exactly. But so my point being is it's kind of hard to surpass someone that you never beat and you played them during your era. It's a little easier if you didn't play him during an era, you would never know, right? But
especially all the times.
But he's never beat Brady. Brady beat him.
Brady also had their number in the AFC bouts that they had. Like, I forget the one. There was one in Kansas City. He marched in and beat the Chiefs.
He's beat him in every playoff, including the Super Bowl. Brady has beaten Mahomes.
Now, does that mean that if like Mahomes wins like 8 or 9 titles, hypothetically speaking, of course, could he then surpass Brady if he wins 8 or 9, or is it like?
Yeah, I would think at that point. Now it's like
But I don't disagree that if like he ends up with 6 or 7, if he ever gets up,
he has to dramatically surpass Brady. But what do you got there?
The playoff record,
or the tail
head-to-head Mahomes and Brady.
Okay, 12-2. What's the fourth one?
Actually, this is very old. 3 Super Bowl rings.
Well, this is comparing their first 6 years starting against each other.
Right. That's right.
Their first 6 years, they both have how many Super Bowls?
Mahomes had more, 4, and Brady 3. No, wait, no, 2 Mahomes, 3 Brady.
Yeah, so he couldn't have 4. He's going for his 4th. And then what's the 167? Look at the passer rating. Wait, first of all, let's be clear. Mahomes is a better athlete than Brady.
Yes,
by far.
Yeah.
No confusion. If you compared athlete to athlete, Mahomes is a better athlete, right? I just think Brady I think they're both
like the running game.
I think they're both great. It's like, it's like LeBron against Jordan. I mean, to be the 1 and 2 best players of all time in professional sports, I mean, being number 2 isn't a bad thing. I mean, you're great. Would you agree? I mean, you're still great.
Oh, yeah. Like, we will look at some point, because we're starting to see this revisionist history now with the Patriots era and dynasty. The Chiefs will be looked upon fondly to those who didn't get directly beaten by the Chiefs. They'll be looked upon romantically as, man, how great was Patrick Mahomes slinging the ball around. But we're just not there today with that. But I'm starting to notice, especially because although one valid criticism I do give those who don't like the Chiefs, it's not just that they win, it's because they're in everything. Now, granted, I usually watch Red Zone, no free ads, but like I watch things where there's generally little to no commercials, so I don't see as much of the bundle rooski or whatever that people complain about.
7 hours of non-commercial.
Hey, but I'll be honest with you, Byron. I don't know how you feel, Byron. How do you feel? I disliked, as much as I like Brady, you guys know I like Brady, I dislike the Patriots more than I dislike the Chiefs.
Ooh.
What?
Ouch.
I heard.
I don't know.
I get it.
There was some. I mean, and I didn't hate them. First of all, time out. Anytime I talked about business and stuff, I always complimented the organization I thought the Patriots have one of the best organizations. The way they had their team, how they, Brady spread the ball. The other thing that you don't see against Mahomes, I bet Santiago, see if you can pull up some stats. How many different receivers did Brady throw through compared to Mahomes? Like, Brady spread the ball around. Now, maybe that's how their offense was, but he threw to a lot of receivers. Right?
Brady didn't have names until Gronk. I mean,
Randy Moss.
I said until Moss and Gronk. Like, he was throwing to Troy Brown.
And again, that's why Eli should be in the Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
Hence.
So
90.
number 1, 98. Whoa. 98 what?
98 different receivers.
And how many Mahomes? No, that's not fair because they haven't played.
Patrick Mahomes have played against Brady 6. Oh, yeah, this is different.
What's the Google prompt here? Was it for Mahomes or for
Brady?
Brady?
The problem is how many different receivers did Brady throw to?
Mahomes still has another 10 years to play.
I think if you take Brady out of it, you could get the same answer for Mahomes. But Brady was thrown to a lot of guys, especially because he had some running backs who were worth.
And look at the guys he had guys that were going to get cut. No offense. I mean, Wes Welker was going to get cut. Amendola was going to get cut. I mean, he had a lot of players.
Amendola?
Who heard of Deion Branch until he played for Brady?
Deion Branch, thank you. That was the name I was forgetting.
He was the MVP of a Super Bowl, and nobody knows who he was.
Yeah, no, because like you said, there was no one other than Brady on that offense. Like, I mean, Corey Dillon showed up to get a ring to kind of like cap off his career, but most of the guys in that early era, they were just scrubs. Which, granted, to be fair, that was because the Patriots in that first run,
nobody in the NFL was a scrub.
It was a defensive team.
Yeah, there was no one there. Was it Mike Vrabel on that team?
Yeah, Vrabel, Brewski, God, something Harrison. Richard Seymour, that's what the name. They had a lot of great talent on that team.
Junior Seau, he played there.
Seau,
that was like his last year, right?
Yeah. I mean, just
Chris Canty.
No,
that's funny.
Oh man, those old pictures.
Anyhow, I think Brady's doing a lot better job broadcasting than he did before.
What? He's terrible, man.
Oh, I agree. He awful.
You know what he said? Like, I can throw better than that.
I think he's just a little stiff.
I think it took Romo some time. You got to remember, he's criticized a lot more for whatever he does. It took Romo a long time, and Romo's doing a pretty good job right now.
Man, you better listen to his games, man. He is terrible, Tom Brady, man. Oh, my God.
I would argue the opposite about Romo. Romo came in with hot and a lot of praise, and people liked him. Over time, the criticism shielding that they don't like Romo as much.
Right.
The one that got – what was the guy? The one that kicked to the curb that was Greg Olsen was better than him.
He's talking crap about him this week too.
Greg Olsen.
Greg Olsen.
What did Greg Olsen say?
He said indirectly that he could have been a better broadcaster for this week or something.
But didn't Greg Olsen Greg Olsen just got another job somewhere? I forgot.
No, he's still with Hawks, I think, right?
He got demoted. The number
I
2.
think it's one of those things where he has the ability to opt out and leave to go to a different network should he get a better offer. I think is where
he has a clause.
Man, for $375 million, man. Come on, man. That's terrible.
Easy money.
$37 million a year.
Yeah.
Wow.
To be
beautiful.
Bad,
it's gravy.
For being in the booth watching football. Oh my God, that's a dream job.
Well, you do have to spend a week at the practice fields, right, or something.
Who cares? You're around football
on like Thursday or Friday, but they do like the conference calls during the week.
Right, but he can't be in any of them because he's a Raiders minority owner.
Right.
So he sits on the side. I don't know.
That was an interesting thing that Goodell was saying, that like Brady apparently was constantly checking with him in regards to compliance. It was broadcasting. It's one of those things where it's like it just seems like it's a bad idea in the sense of just either be an owner or be a broadcaster. Don't try to be both. Chip Kelly's going to the Raiders. I forgot.
Oh, geez, shit.
For what?
For offensive coordinator. They're hiring the old timers.
Well, because they're not really they're not old timers compared to the head coach.
To be fair, he did orchestrate that offense, the offense for Ohio State, with the exception of playing against Michigan, was pretty solid this year.
Yeah, Ryan Day got an extension too today.
Exactly.
All right.
I think DC got poached too.
Any other news as we wrap this up?
Let me pull up. Cooper Kupp is going to be traded.
Oh, that's a shocker.
He's mad about that one because I think he wanted to stay in LA, but LA is ready to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's injury prone. He hasn't played. He played 12 games in the last 3 seasons.
And Russell Wilson's leaving Pittsburgh to go where?
Potentially the Raiders, but that's still rumor because he wants to rejoin with his old coach.
Wait, is he a free agent or is he still under contract?
No, he only had a 1-year contract, I think.
I think he can get out if he wanted to. But that's what I heard from the Pittsburgh boots on the ground, but I haven't heard it officially. But
yeah, but is Pete going to want him to come back? Because he did kick him out the door.
They got no quarterback.
That's true. He played for Pete Carroll.
The coach when he got traded?
Yeah.
Or had he been gone by then?
No, Pete Carroll was the coach when he gets traded.
I see.
Pete
was that his call or was that Seattle front office call? I don't know.
Pete was the front office.
I thought it was Russell Wilson of all people. They think that wanted out. Like, because wasn't he trying to get to like Chicago or something as well? Maybe even New York.
He wanted a bigger contract with Seattle, and they didn't want to give it to him.
I see.
And then he went to
Denver,
to the Broncos. Yeah, so
that's right.
Was going to tell you. Yeah, well, we'll see. It's going to be an interesting outlook. I'm excited for the Super Bowl. This is going to be a good. Don't show me that one. I hate Sean Payton. Hey, but you know what? Did you know I saw this movie? There's a true story movie during Sean Payton's time. So I forgot what it was called. It's a cute little like kids movie. You know, the year he got suspended, he coached his kids' football team. It's not the little Giants.
Yeah.
That's the New York Giants. It was called something, a home something. It was Sean Payton. It was pretty funny. It was pretty.
I thought you were going to talk about the Kevin James movie. I was like, what are we?
That's it. It's the Kevin James. Kevin James is him.
I thought that was like a movie about the Saints, not when he got suspended.
No, it's home team. Yeah, home team. It's with Kevin James. That's a true.
Really happened.
That really happened with Sean Payton.
The film tells the story of Sean Payton. I had no idea. This went through Netflix. I had no idea
either. Because think about it. How do you compare? What's his name again? What's the comedian's name?
Kevin James.
How do you compare Kevin James to Sean Payton?
He's pretty big.
And Sean Payton's in the movie. He's like a janitor. It's hilarious.
He's like a Doncic in a future movie.
Nah, the future Disney movie, I guarantee it, is going to be Brock Purdy.
Could be.
It's going to be a Disney movie, and it's going to be on Brock Purdy.
Oh.
Okay, why? How could you not? Tell me that's not one of the greatest stories ever. If they made a story about Kurt Warner, I can't imagine them not making a story about Brock Purdy. Mr. Irrelevant. Mr. Irrelevant going from $1 million a year and not being able to pay for a place, according to Byron, right?
He has a roommate.
And, he had a rent. He had to do an Airbnb roommates. Okay, with $1 million a year, and now he's going to make 40 to 50 million, from $1 million to 40 to 50 million.
Well,
what a story.
Under $1 million. It was between 7 and 900,000
after taxes and the weather tax.
I'm sorry. Everybody on this team would deny that salary.
Yeah, and he lives in San Francisco, man. It's expensive. Come on, man.
Yeah, he's got a one apartment. He's got a studio with like his toilet. His toilet's outside. He's got a studio with a roommate, and his toilet has to go outside.
I mean, that's Palo Alto for you, you know.
And he's paying $7,000 a month for that.
Dude, you don't think
life is hard?
Endorsements and stuff. Come on, you're just talking about his salary, but he's about to make $40 or $50 million. How much?
Maybe 60. Maybe
exactly. They think Jaden Daniels, when his contract is up, is going to make like $70 million.
I mean,
they're going to trade him before that.
The way it's going, yeah. But I guess these teams, I guess they can pay it, but they're going to get these streams. That's why we're going to end up paying for the Super Bowl. So all right, gentlemen, this was a little longer than we expected, but this was good. Wes Welker, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
He had a great time, Vic. He had a great time. He was laughing the whole way through.
Did you have a good time, Wes?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
You're the first Virginia person I actually met. I mean, Vermont. Yeah, I'm tired, dude. I've been up here. I'm in my same office. Like, this is my conference. I'm in my conference room since 6:00 this morning. I'm tired. And while we were on the phone, I kept switching over to my Outlook. I closed the deal and I set a meeting for tomorrow. I'm exhausted.
That bill before the Super Bowl, man.
I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl. Okay, what's your favorite? We're going to end it here. What's your favorite Super Bowl meal? I already know Byron's, but I'm going to see if he remembers. Byron, what's yours?
Come on, man. It's chicken wings, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, what kind? Tell him what kind.
Honey garlic fried hard.
I thought you did the jerk chicken thing.
Oh no, I changed up, man. I found.
See? Do you see how I remember your stuff? Don't tell me I didn't remember your stuff.
I changed up.
Okay, time out though. Was I right though? Wasn't it a jerk chicken something?
Yeah, I'm old, man. I can't be eating the hot food like that, man.
Okay, tell us what it's called again, so I had the right name.
What, the jerk chicken or the honey garlic?
The jerk chicken.
What about it? It's jerk chicken.
No, what was it? What's the call? It was just jerk chicken honey chicken wings, right?
Yeah, that's it. Hot.
You used to tell them, oh, my sister this and that. So now it's honey garlic chicken wings?
Yeah, I got soft.
Oh, my God. I'm impressed you meant it.
Yeah, I got soft.
What's yours, Santiago?
I have to go with Byron. Chicken wings, garlic parmesan, dipped in ranch.
Garlic Parmesan dipped in ranch.
All
right, Alex, what you got?
Not necessarily a meal as much as a snack. I love a couple times I've had buffalo chicken dip.
That's good.
Interesting.
Solid.
Wes Welker.
I'm gonna go ham and cheese sliders.
Nice.
Sliders.
Melted.
I like all the foods there. All right. I'm gonna go with my sausage and peppers on a good piece of bread with some great marinara sauce.
Ooh.
Melted, right?
No melted marinara.
Cheese.
How do you melt marinara sauce?
Melted cheese. Melted cheese, I meant.
Nah, no cheese on it. Just eat it like that. It's all messy. You have to eat it messy. Your face gets all danced. It's some of the
Get
best.
10 napkins.
Yeah, exactly. All right, gentlemen. All right, don't forget Jersey Boy Sportscast every Thursday. What time, Byron? 8 p.m. 8 p.m. And the reason why we do that, because everybody asks us, what time's your show? For 6 years, 8 p.m. I don't understand why you keep asking.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Hold those fingers, Byron.
Yeah, hold those fingers,
o'clock.
Byron. Show us your big wingspan again.
There you go. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Oh my God! Doesn't he look like that little thing in front of a car dealership? You know the
wacky inflatable arm thing.
Do that again, Byron. You look like you should be in front of a car dealership.
You pay me, I'll do it.
Pay $9 an hour.
I'm gonna pay you $37 million. How's that?
That's right. I'll do it.
No, I'm sorry, 700,000 because that's not enough for you. You can't rent your place.
Yeah, I can live with that too.
Okay, every Friday, 8 p.m. Don't forget to subscribe on all your social media channels. We're on YouTube, X, on Facebook, on Spotify, Stitcher, all your streaming podcasts. Please, post on the Sportscast. Follow all our shows. We have money shows during the week. Santiago has several shows going on. We'll be expanding pretty soon into the WNBA. We'll be creating a new show for that. We're pretty excited about that. We got our buddy who's on the Sportscast now, the Donut Bag, Joey Toscano, no?
Joe Toscano.
Joey Toscano, Joey Bag of Donuts, a big Pittsburgh fan, great guy, has an excellent show. I'd like to thank our guest, Wes Welcome, and Mr. Alex Quirk for joining our show. Santiago,
what's the best way to reach you, Vic?
It's always great to have you on our show as the producer because it helps me out because I could do less and I just talk. So it's a lot better. You can reach me at victorarocho.com. Come and see me. Whatever I can do to help you out, will help you out. God bless. Everybody have a good night. Have a safe Super Bowl. Enjoy your time. Eat your great food. I'm sure we'll be talking during the Super Bowl. Maybe we'll do a little spotlight live. Santiago, but we're going from there. Gentlemen, you have a great night. Have a great rest of your week. God bless and bless your families. And good night. Thank you.